You can't do much for pollinators without native plants. Yeah. It's an umbrella for everything. The habitat is an umbrella for everything that includes pollinators.
Bring back the pollinators, but bring back the birds and the butterflies and the snakes and the plants themselves.
You can't bring back the pollinators without doing that.
The land has been managed in a certain way for so long that almost everything has disappeared. And now at the 11th hour, people are saying, wait, we should do it differently so that we can get our pollinators back. But why don't we do it differently enough to get everything back? Yeah. If you go back 200 years, everything that was here was a native plant, a native animal. Those 450 species of native bees in BC, they lived for thousands of years with only the native plants. And that's the context that they evolved in. And that's the context that that diversity stems from. So this farm has lots of different purposes. It's partly to demonstrate that you can make a living in small-scale agriculture. It's partly to train new farmers, but it's also to model a different approach to farming, where some land is permanently set aside just for nature.
The farm has really undergone a transformation with having these 2 acres of natural space. So there's farmland that is for the food growing, but then we've put in, with volunteers, lots and lots of native hedgerows on the fence lines of the farm with a diversity of native shrubs and trees and wildflowers. There's also a wetland area with wet native meadow, dry meadow, Garryoke ecosystem, and there's woodland area as well.
It's the edge of a large patch of forest, but only a bit of it occurs on this property. A lot of wildlife habitat there that is different from the rest of the farm. And so the rest of the farm is quite open and sunny, and the forest is the only place with perpetual shade where things like western red-backed salamander and wandering salamander and some of the native snails and forest spiders and things like that can live.
We've come through a gate. Every native plant you're looking at, every tree and shrub has been planted by volunteers. Every single thing you're looking at was reed canary grass. You'd be standing in over your head in reed canary grass. So these are the ponds that were dug. There are 2 ponds.
So this wetland, where it used to be just a soggy patch of reed canary grass, is a source for thousands of Pacific chorus frogs breeding in here in the spring, and then all of those thousands of new baby chorus frogs going out into the farm eating insects. In the meantime, while they're here, we have herons, garter snakes in the wetland. We have a countless diversity of aquatic insects. If you dip a bucket in this, when the water starts going down and the animals become more concentrated, it's like lentil soup. There's more animals in there than there is water.
It's unbelievable. So there's this inherent worth in all of these organisms and all of these plants, economic benefits to the farm as a whole, with having these sources of nature, breeding grounds for pollinators that then go into the farm. And there are many crops that require native pollinators that honeybees can't pollinate.
So we have these native hedgerows planted all around the farm to enhance biodiversity. So they provide habitat for the pollinators that then provide a service to the farmers. The hedgerows moderate the climate, they block wind.
With farms, there's such an opportunity to incorporate native plants. Anyone who is really serious about pollinator conservation is serious about habitat conservation, is serious about native plants. Can't do much for pollinators without native plants.